The Rip is the latest original action movie to hit Netflix, following the deterioration of a group of police officers as they raid a house which contains a rip of $20 million. As these sorts of stories go, twists and shenanigans occur. The Rip is 100% held by its two leading actors, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. This is their film. They lead it, and they do so well. I wouldn't expect less from these proven movie stars. They're giving rather stereotypical police officer performances, nothing special on that front, but it is compelling for the kind of enclosed action movie this is. What does make the movie more interesting is the fact that the Rip mostly works as a metatextual text based on star persona. That's why the movie star image is important to those two actors in particular here. I don't know how invested I would be otherwise, but Damon and Affleck's casting as these two friends, who are pushed apart by the stress of the situation they found themselves in, not sure who to trust, the audience's awareness of the two's real-life friendship is weaponized to add stakes to the movie to provide an easy shorthand for why we should care. I'll be honest, it worked on me. What I do commend The Rip for is its sheer devotion to itself as a movie, which I know is a super low bar to be expecting from movies, but it helps, especially when the film in discussion isn't an auteur-helmed picture and or festival release. The Rip, as packaged by release dates and marketing, came across as disposable by taking a January slot. Suffice to say, it doesn't fall prey to many of the Netflix-isms which I've come to loathe in the contemporary filmic landscape. Not all, there are bits of it nestled in there. The Rip isn't bloated to the gills with flashbacks to scenes we've already seen in order to catch the audience up. There's an actual attempt at a mystery going on. I am aware of how bottom of the barrel this all sounds, but The Rip isn't second screen entertainment. It's an average action movie. It knows it, and it strives to execute that vision without muddying the presentation. For the first half of the movie, however, the narrative seems to twiddle its thumbs. 2 hours, for this concept, seems excessive with a little bit of bloat when watching initially, but the first half is recontextualized by the twists and reveals of the third act, which is where the story really grows into itself, make it worth it in hindsight. The characters are rather archetypal police detectives who are simplified to get the story going quickly, but, again, it takes its time to get there. It's almost as if this is meant to have more of a focus on the character relationships, before scrapping that for mere setup for the action. Another issue stemming from that slightly mismatched script is the treatment of its surprisingly extensive supporting cast. You can also guess the general direction of the twist by taking a look at them, but I won't say more on that front. Hence, I'll be talking about their involvement in the narrative pre-twists. There's Teyana Taylor, who's delegated to the background of most of the action, Kyle Chandler, who's been one of those, "Oh, it's that guy?" actors for a while, Scott Adkins in an action-adjacent role, which seems counterintuitive for this genre, and Steven Yeun, who I only wish had a meatier role to sink his teeth into. He's a great actor who hasn't been able to showcase his talents in a feature film recently, even when he's in them, which sucks, considering I'm a fan of his. The script isn't really able to juggle these characters in the debate beats, aside from one particularly tense scene during the third act, taking place in Elenco, which I would argue to be the movie's best scene. Plus, a little shaky cam, quick cutting, and a few shots with the expected Netflix, well, straight to streaming film in general, haze took me out of the intense, stressy intended vibe of the movie. The final act fight scenes are also obscured by dim, low-key lighting, which makes it a bit difficult to fully see what's going on. But it doesn't detract too much from the fun of the regular action scenes. They're nothing special and revolutionary, but they're pretty enjoyable. So, all in all, The Rip is a perfectly fine, good, star-studded action movie. It doesn't try its hand at anything else narratively. It's the kind of movie which doesn't demand presence and is, honestly, just a bit of fun. The Rip, 3 stars. Well, that's all. Keep on watching movies and form your own opinions. See you in the next one.